So we're continuing our discussion about quadratics and this method of slide and divide method where a was not equal to 1, so it makes it a little more difficult way to factor. Um, and so there's different ways to factor. If you've learned a different way in the past and you prefer that way, you can. I am showing you the slide and divide. And so you slide down the a and then you could factor it and then you divide out that a that you slid down and simplify. And so that's what we did. And then we used the zero product rule and we got our answers. And then at the end, you always want to check your work. So back to when we want to solve a quadratic, there are the three methods. We looked at how to factor in the previous video. And now we're going to look at, well, before we start completing the square, I would like to show you what another potential quadratic problem that you may see. And so this is an example of a quadratic problem that you may see, and you may think, do I have to try to factor this? And you could factor this. You could use the quadratic formula, but because it's missing the b term, right? That plus x is not there, that plus bx. In this type of problem, you can try to isolate the x. So, in here, I'm going to make this a little different because I want to make it a little easier of a problem. I'm going to subtract 40. It's going to be 5x squared minus 45 is equal to 0. I put a plus sign and I meant to put a minus sign. So, you can try to isolate the x like this. If I add 45 to both sides, I'm going to end up with the 5x squared is equal to 45. And now I can isolate the x. I can isolate x squared by dividing both sides by 5. And I will end up with x squared is equal to 9. And now I can solve this by taking the square root of both sides. And I end up with x is equal to plus or minus 3. I have to keep in mind that plus or minus 3 because you can take 3 and square it to get 9, and you can also square negative 3. Multiply negative 3 by itself twice, and you do get 9 also. So there are two solutions here. It's positive 3 or negative 3. So this would cross the x-axis at positive 3 or negative 3, our parabola. So when you're missing the b term, it turns into a simpler problem. And that's how you can do that type of problem. In Alex, I noticed there are some problems that look like this. Now, there is a couple ways that you could approach this problem. You could take this w plus 1 and you can square it. So you could FOIL this out and then add combined like terms. Get yourself a second degree equation that you could either factor, complete the square, or use the quadratic formula on. Or with this one, similar to what we did last time, what you can do here is if you can isolate the squared side onto one side of the equal sign, then you can use that property of taking the square root of both sides. So once I am able to get a base raised to an exponent isolated like this, or like in the previous problem, I can use the principle of, oh, I could take the square root of both sides. And I'll end up with w plus 1 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 45. Now, I need to try, I need to get w by itself, first of all. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. And now I've solved for w. I get negative 1 plus the square root of 45, plus or minus. So to write the two answers, it would be negative 1 plus the square root of 45 and negative 1 minus the square root of 45. Now, the Alex will ask you to separate your answers with commas, and it will say to simplify your answer as much as possible. So, looking at the square root of 45, let's see if we can simplify the square root of 45. When you are simplifying square roots, you want to look at this radicand. The radicand is the number underneath. So not the square root, but just this number underneath. And if this number underneath has a factor that is one of the squares, I'm going to write them out here, the first few. If any of these 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, so think of this perfect square. If any of these are factors of 45, then we can simplify this square root of 45. 9 is a factor of 45, so I can rewrite this as 5 times 9. And then I can split it apart like this. And I end up with the square root of 5 times 3. So I'm going to write it actually in reverse, 3 square root of 5, because if you write it too quickly, it may look like the 3 is underneath. So typically what you're going to see is the whole number written in front, or the integer, and then the square root number. So they're multiplied together. So the answer here is -1 plus 3 square root 5 and -1 minus 3 square root 5. Oops, I didn't put another comment. And so that's my answer. Now you may say to me, well, how am I supposed to check this? And what you can do is you can take your calculator and you can check if you did this problem correctly by putting that decimal approximation in and seeing if you get a true statement with your original problem. So my original equation, so these are my two answers. Let me circle them here because I got them a little running into this simplification here. My original problem was this. W plus 1 squared minus 45 is equal to 0. So I'm going to write that here. W plus 1, this whole thing squared, minus 45 is equal to 0. And I'm going to take this value, and I'm going to plug it in place of W. And so to do this, I'm just going to use the calculator because it's going to be much easier than me trying to do this by hand. So you want to make sure you use the calculator to see if you can get your statement to be true. And so I'm going to put it in as -1 plus 3 square root 5. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to get this decimal. And then I'm going to hit I'm going to show you where the C that I'm talking about is. To the left of 1, you see that key that says STO. I'm going to store that as X. I mean, I could rewrite this if I wanted to. You can just retype it, or you can use the second negative sign for the answer. But I'm just going to store it as X so that I can plug this in like this. Now, like I said, you can use the ANS button. It works just the same. And when I hit enter, I get 0. Now the next one, let's do it without the storing as X. I'll show you the other way. 3 square root 5. This is the decimal approximation is -7.708. And so, and if I use part of the decimal and not the whole number, I'm going to get approximation. So it'll look close to 0, but it won't be exactly. And I'm going to plug in this. I'm going to say second answer plus 1. So I'm doing this W plus 1 squared minus 45 hit enter, and I should get 0. And that's how I know that I came up with the correct answer, because I got this statement to equal 0. So, and like I said, Alex gives you a few problems where it looks like this, and you could FOIL this out, simplify, and then you're going to end up having to use the quadratic formula, which we haven't looked at yet, but that's how you would do it. Now let's go back to our next method of factoring, and we said that that method is completing the square. So we're going to look at now completing the square. And so completing the square means that I want to get it into something that looks like this. I want it to look like this so that I can use that technique in order to solve it. So let's write down an example. So when I see this problem, the first thing that goes through my head is, well, I want to try to factor it. And I'm looking at factors of -1. There are no factors of -1 that sum to 4. So I cannot factor this. It's not going to factor. So I could use the quadratic formula here, but I'm demonstrating how to use the completing the square method. So the first thing that you need to do when completing the square is, again, put it into, make sure you have something that looks similar to this, that all the, you have this x squared plus 4x minus 1. And you're going to first move this constant over. So instead of saying -1, I'm going to move it over here, and I'm going to add 1 to both sides so it looks like this. And I'm going to leave a blank spot here. And what I want to do is I want to identify A, B, and C, and you're going to take half of the B and square it and add this number to both sides. So in our case here, I'm going to write it over here. B is 4. Half of B squared would be 2, and 2 squared is 4. And I'm going to add 4 to both sides of this equation, because I can add a number to the equation. I just have to do it to both sides to keep the equation balanced. And what I've done here by doing this is I have created a perfect square trinomial. A perfect square trinomial factors into the square root of x squared and the square root of this 4 here. The square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of x squared is x. And if I was to FOIL this out, I would get back to this step. On the right side, 1 plus 4 is 5. And so you end up with the perfect square trinomial so that you can factor it. Why did I choose to put a plus sign here and not a minus sign? Because this was a plus. Whatever sign is here, that's what you carry down. If it was a minus sign, I'd put a minus sign. And then now I have it in this form, which is similar to the problem I just did. And I don't have to FOIL this out. If I FOIL this out, I get back to the step before. What I need to do is to solve this, I take the square root of both sides, and I end up with x plus 2 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 5. And now I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, and I end up with x is equal to -2 plus or minus square root of 5. And that's my answer. And remember, that's 2 answers. It's -2 plus the square root of 5, and then I'd put a comma, and then I'd say -2 minus the square root of 5. So when you're answering these in the ALEX, you make sure to separate them with a comma. It's not looking for decimal approximation. It's looking for this exact value. So you want to make sure you use this. Now, and then I can check it by plugging this